There's been a lot of changes in the team. I've been here 8 years and I am now the longest serving person here. There's been an awful lot of changes, particularly within the last 18 months or so. So it was a really good opportunity to actually take some time out and really get to know one another.
I think one of the things that really helped us develop as a team was that we all had fun, and enjoying ourselves together helped us to build those relationships and conversations for us to come together and work on what we needed to do for our communities and to build the relationships we need to move forward. We started off by building Lego models of our favourite Bible stories, and this led to conversations about why we'd chosen those and what they meant to us, and that was really a good start. And for people like me that had predated Lego, although it put a little bit outside my comfort zone, it was really good fun, and people chatted while they were doing it and talked about what they were doing. I did a Lego model of Peter stepping out of the boat to walk towards Christ in a test of his faith, and there were others of Moses in the burning bush and Jonah and the whale. That was the first activity.
We decided to organise the sessions of the retreat by each member of the clergy would introduce something that they really enjoyed doing, and Paulette has an extensive background in working with guides and children and families, and so she led us on an amazing wide game that got extremely silly and was great fun. It was based around Noah, and Noah needed help getting the animals in, and we were sort of sent out on an assortment of tasks. We had to go and find some nuts at one point, and we went and looked around the base of several trees and sort of couldn't find any, and I think I said, there's a shop nearby. So we went and bought a bag of peanuts for that one. And it's just the sort of activities and time that you don't get together as clergy in meetings with agendas. It was great. One of the things that came out of it was we decided to spend the evening playing board games, and we started talking about, well, how you can get Manchester United Monopoly, you can get Monopoly for every town and village. And then we said, well, what would a pool mission area Monopoly board look like? It started sort of a real conversation about, well, what sort of strengths are there? How could we adapt the game of Monopoly to get our congregations to engage more with mission? And we've basically devised a game that will be coming to all good retailers in time for Christmas.
I came back really enthusiastic about what had happened, and with a real strong sense that we had moved forward significantly as a team, that we knew one another better, that we'd had those conversations about how we can use our lives in God's service and to work in our communities.
It really felt like it had sort of built some solid relationships that we can go on working together. I've got a picture of different people's skills and interests.
I was sceptical, I have to admit that. I wasn't sure what the retreat would do for us. I can only say that it was God-given. It really worked for us.
Cast ydw i o ardal genhadaeth Valle Crucis, a dyma ffilm fach am ein profiad ni o encil ar gyfer y flwyddyn Jubilee. Our plan was to go to Ynys Enlli, Bardsey Island, to stay in Aberdaron the night before and to cross over during the day. So we got to Aberdaron in the afternoon. We had some time to settle in, we had a lovely walk on the beach and a time of prayer together in St Owen's Church, using Jim Cotter's Pilgrim Prayers. Wel, roedden ni na wedi gobeithio am siwrne bore wedyn hefyd, ond wrth i ni godi, dyma ni'n ffeindio bod y gwynt wedi codi hefyd. The following morning we had hoped to journey to Enlli, but sadly the winds was too strong for the crossing and we didn't particularly fancy Jonah's fate. So after we'd worshipped together again in St Owen's, we went instead to Uwchmynydd and we walked together to the old chapel ruins on the cliffs overlooking Enlli, which was the last place of worship for the medieval pilgrims before they crossed over. Well, the rain came upon us, But we sat in the rain and we prayed and we read scripture and we worshipped together. And it almost seemed that we became part of that timeless landscape ourselves. And the more intrepid of us also went a little further and found the very steps in the rock down which the pilgrims descended to the sea. So we were literally following in the footsteps of the saints. Doedd na ddim agenda in Hencil ni. We had no agenda, no business to cover at all on our retreat. We were simply looking to refresh and renew and recharge ourselves, to get to know each other better by being together and to see where God would lead us through prayer and worship. I think the outcome was a surprise. It was a surprise in the spiritual depth of the experience itself, the quality of the prayer and the worship. It was also a surprise in the extent to which it brought us together as ministers and members of the Missionaria Conference. And more than anything, it reminded us what we're about as a Missionaria, that it's not all about business and buildings, but it's really about God and his kingdom. And gobeithio ni yw bod ni ddim yn colli golwg ar hynny. Our hope is not to lose that focus, so we do intend to return next year. A gobeithio tro nesa, nawn ni gyrraedd enillu. In Jim Cotter's words, Molwndi, Duw ddirgelwch a datguddiad am dy saint a laniodd gyntaf ar y treitha hyn, ar ôl teithio mewn ffydd dros y moroedd, ac a ddatguddiodd yn dy bobl yn y fan hon, y ffydd hanner guddiedig dy gariad o'i mewn, gan sefydlu'r lleoedd gweddi, lle mae dy ysbryd yn anwesu awel yr haf, ac yn taranu drwy stormydd y gaeaf.